8. Which of the following will likely be included in the fenestration system? Choose 3 that apply. Okay, we have low E coating on surface 1 on the south side. We have B, reflective sills and horizontal mullions to reflect light deep into the office space. C, low E coating on surface 2 on the southeast side. D, low E coating on one of the double glazed window surfaces on the north side. E, window systems with a high U value. F, laminated glass at all skylight locations. So this is a little specific, sort of hoping that you understand about low E and how double pane windows work. So if you imagine a double pane window, so there's 2 sheets of glass and then there's like a little element that holds them apart from each other so that there's a thing that stops a cold bridge from moving across. So we have surface 1, which is the outside, and then there's surface 2, which is the inside of the outside pane, then there's surface 3, which is the et cetera, and then surface 4, which is the inside. So by looking at A, we're talking about would the low E coating go onto surface 1, which would be this outside, if you imagine this is the outside and this is the inside, this outside element. Well, low E coatings are like plastic sheeting, and you wouldn't want to put them on the outside because they get damaged. If you had hail or a branch rubbing up against it or somebody scratching it or something, you'd actually see it and it would start to mess up and it would become a problem. So it's not going to be on surface 1 on the south side. Low E coating on surface 2 of double glazed windows, well, that means it's right there. That's on the inside face. That actually totally makes sense because you want the low E coating before the solar gain has gotten into this space. So being on surface 3, not so great. It's okay, it's better than surface 1, but it's not as good as surface 2. And again, being on surface 4 is not as good as either 3 or 2, and 2 is definitely the best one out of all of those. So this one is certainly a keeper. Reflective sills and horizontal mullions to reflect light deep into the office space. We already talked about how much they're interested in daylighting, so that sounds like a good answer for the fenestration system. Low E coating on the north side. People will often put low E coating on the north side just because they say, okay, we want low E coating on all the windows, but it's not actually doing anything for you on the north side. So that one's not needed. And then we have one answer left out of the final 2, window systems with a high U value and laminated glass at all skylight locations. This one is just sort of a kind of a trick question about high U value. You want a high R value, and then a U value is the inverse of that. And we usually, when we're talking about windows, use U value, not R value, although you can use either. So in this case, you wouldn't want a window system with a high U value, you'd want it with a low U value. You'd want it with a high R value. So E is not correct, and F, laminated glass at all skylight locations, that's actually a code thing, you always have to do that. So yes, you would absolutely in the fenestration systems want laminated glass in any skylight. And laminated glass is just, there's layers, sheets of glass, and in between each one is a sheet of, essentially a plastic clear sheet that has sticky stuff on both sides and it kind of glues everything together. The idea is that if, let's say, somebody threw a baseball up onto the roof and it broke the skylight, if that was just a sheet of glass and the skylight broke, then all of those giant shards of glass are going to come tumbling down through the space and it would be unbelievably dangerous. So in this case, you throw the baseball up, you break the glass, but then the plastic kind of holds it all together. So it's broken and you're gonna have to replace it, but it's not gonna come raining down, slicing people's arms off or anything like that, which would be very unpleasant for everybody. I think we can all agree.